All right. We're live. Welcome, Dorsey's Resource. The topic of this video is going to be must-see documentaries, part 4. But first, before we get started, I'd like to give a disclaimer. This video is for educational, informational, and entertainment purposes only. Please understand everyone's individual circumstance or situation may be different. It's up to every individual competent person to please do his or her own homework and research regarding the matter being discussed. This information is not to be construed as legal advice. In the event you need to seek a competent professional, it is encouraged that you do so at one's own leisure. Dorsey's Resource is not liable or responsible for any misuse of this information. These are simply my thoughts and opinions on the topic. With that being said, all rights are reserved. Now, let's go. Topic of this video, I want to get right in. There's a reason why I place emphasis on must-watch documentaries. But first, before this day is about to end on Eastern time, I want to commemorate, remember 9/11. I want to say respect for, since this is the anniversary of 9/11. Generally, in the past, I never really did videos, but I do want to mention I do respect our servicemen, our military, our first responders, our firefighters, EMS, police, military. I salute you, and prayers and thoughts to those who died with that tragedy 17 years ago. I have my opinions about it or whatnot, but despite, I want to remember those people who died, passed away. My condolences go to you first before I get into these documentaries. I just wanted to acknowledge that, and I thank you all, service members, first responders, firefighters, police officers, military personnel from every branch. I appreciate your service. Coming from Dorsey's Resource, thank you very much for all of you all that have sacrificed throughout the years, as well as our veterans and people. I salute you very much. Thank you for your service. Now, I wanted to go over these documentaries. I've done some previous videos. I think a lot of people may be awake to the truth, but I think there's different levels of being awake, and these documentaries will help empower you and give you action-packed information as to previous things I've discussed, and will provide validity behind a lot of what is actually going on. This is kind of going to be random. I might even mention some major Hollywood films too. But first, these are like alternative documentaries, or known as independent media documentaries, but many of them are well produced, well researched by the people that produce them. First of all, the first documentary I would please like everyone to check out is called Money Masters. Please check out Money Masters. The second documentary is called Monopoly Men. And also, many of these documentaries you can watch for free on YouTube. If you do have the money, as I've encouraged in the past, please support these people who have sometimes sacrificed and given their lives or risked their lives to provide this information. So first was Money Masters. The second documentary is called Monopoly Men. Many of you all, it's a reason why you may have heard me mention these documentaries. It's important. If you have not watched them, you check them out as well. Also, please check out Invisible Empire by Jason Burmis. It's called Invisible Empire. I haven't looked it up in a while, but I've watched it before. Please check out Invisible Empire by Jason Burmis. The next documentary, I think, is very action-packed, high-powered. I think it deserves an Oscar or Grammy on the level of waking you up and showing validity. It's called Endgame by Alex Jones. This is not to be confused with the movie that the actor Cuba Gooding Jr., I believe, played in some years ago. It was called Endgame, but this documentary is called Endgame: Blueprint for Global Enslavement by Alex Jones. It'll have like a green logo to it. Very powerful documentary, very eye-opener. I don't want to spoil it for you guys. Another documentary by Alex Jones is called Fall of the Republic. Some of these documentaries you can purchase from his website, InfoWars, or you may be able to purchase from Amazon.com still, or look up on eBay or other search engines if you can't find these documentaries on YouTube. But please check them out. They will help provide validity and are still relevant to this day. Still very relevant. So I went through about 4 so far. This is going to be kind of random. Oh yeah, a very powerful documentary from years ago. This was supposed to air on the Discovery Channel many years ago. It was called Conspiracy of Silence. And another thing about these documentaries, if you can, some of the people who starred in these documentaries, you want to look up their names. Please research the names of the people involved. I'm going to try to bring more light in here, just so it's clear. You guys can kind of see me better. I know you guys like to have a better lighting. I didn't want to burn out one of my flashlights. It was steaming before when I did this. I try to have backups for backups. So there we go. This is a lot better, more lighting in here. So I went over Monopoly Men, Money Masters, Endgame by Alex Jones, Fall of the Republic. I think I mentioned that. Alex Jones produced, very excellent documentary. It was like Obama Deception Part 2, Fall of the Republic. That's another documentary I didn't mention. Please check out Obama Deception. It was released right after Obama was elected. Very powerful. It's not just about Obama, but also key figureheads, people, bad actors, deep state people, help you identify and understand the continuity of government, political science. This is what these documentaries will help you understand political science, who the bad actors are, who understand how the deep state operates, the shadow government. And there's a difference between the shadow government too, by the way, but these documentaries will help provide that. Another documentary, so I did go over Conspiracy of Silence. Please look up that documentary. You can watch it for free. It was supposed to air on the Discovery Channel many years ago. Someone bought up the rights at the last minute to it, but a former FBI agent, Ted Gunderson, got a hold of the copies. And then some people years ago, I guess, through different YouTube channels, uploaded them on YouTube, I noticed. And you can still check it out on there. They're trying to get rid of this information too, so you also want to document these documentaries. You want to purchase or find a YouTube video downloader and document these documentaries and share them. Please share them with loved ones, family members, and friends, because this information is very concerning to what's coming down the pipeline. Another documentary is called Farmageddon. I know many of you are out there into how they poison the food supply. There was a guy, he won his lawsuit against Monsanto, by the way. This is real. I even saw the mainstream media report on this. I was shocked because I kept wondering why I was hearing these alternative media people mention there was this big blow to Monsanto, where they're known for genetically altering crops, which poison and hurt our food supply that deals with agriculture and things. These documentaries will help provide insight into how that works. Check out Farmageddon. Also check out Genetic Roulette. This is a separate documentary. And most importantly, I own this documentary in particular. Alex Jones used to sell this documentary on his website. I'm not sure if he still does. He might still have it. It's called Scientists Are Under Attack. Please check out Scientists Are Under Attack. Very powerful educational documentary that actually has scientists in them, and they from like around the world. There was even one scientist or also a professor at Berkeley University was going over some things to try to protect our agriculture, our food, because this is another mechanism the globalists, the ruling class want to do to hurt, unfortunately, our civilization. They use multiple weapons and they have multiple agendas. That's what the purpose of these documentaries will help expose, and then also give awareness as far as if you all have humanitarian projects for what organizations to donate to. Please do the research behind them, because some of these corporations don't have the general public's best interest at heart. So you want to do the research, find out where the products are coming from before, if you have humanitarian projects. Some of you are who are into that. I won't go into that right now. There's another documentary. It's called Seeds of Death. Please check out Seeds of Death. And like I said, to reiterate, if you can't find these documentaries on YouTube, keep in mind you can look them up online. You may be able to purchase some of them at Amazon.com. Some of these documentaries you can find at Infowars.com, which still provides excellent information as far as the physical DVDs. Some people like to still have those in their possession. There's another powerful documentary I saw many years ago called End of Liberty. Please check out End of Liberty. If that's still on YouTube, for those of you all who are into survival or prepping culture, you probably want to check out End of Liberty. Very powerful insight. Those of you out there who have been on the fringe about learning survival skills or getting into the discipline of prepping, or feel like there's doomsday or Armageddon coming down the line, End of Liberty is very excellent documentary. Will provide great insight. I saw it before too. Some of these documentaries I saw part of, but the majority of them I'm mentioning to you, I have watched. Some of them I've even watched several times. But End of Liberty, I definitely watched that a few times, and very well produced. I think it was done by the National Inflation Association. Great group of people. They also did another documentary I'm about to mention called The College Conspiracy. Please check out The College Conspiracy. Very excellent documentary. Even touched on a school that for the first college I went to before I transferred to this college here in Michigan. There's a college called DeVry. It was, when I went there, it was called DeVry Institute of Technology. It was a Columbus, Ohio campus. They had different campuses around the country. I think their main headquarter campus was in Atlanta, Georgia, but I went to the one, DeVry Institute in Columbus. But some years later, they relabeled it DeVry University. Well, College Conspiracy, the College Conspiracy documentary helped expose some things behind DeVry. They got sued. They actually lost their lawsuit, and from what I understand, they had to pay a settlement out to some people, because many of these colleges are also giving misleading information, misleading statistics and quotes about the job numbers, as far as guaranteeing former alumni or students that they will be able to get the job. And that touches into a whole nother subject within itself right there. Some more documentaries I'm going to go over. Those of you all who may have heard of the Global Currency Reset, or the GCR, I think it's very detrimental and important for you to check out a documentary called Change is on the Horizon. Please check out Change is on the Horizon, part 1 through 3. It's called Change is on the Horizon, part 1 through 3. It'll help provide a lot of insight. It gets into the banking, help connect the dots for you. These documentaries, like I said from earlier, to reiterate, will help you understand history, banking, especially some economic, political science. It'll give you a great understanding. That's why it's important, maybe even to watch these documentaries several times as well. So I went over Changes on the Horizon, part 1 through 3. Also, check out Zeitgeist, part 1 through 4. If you haven't saw any of the Zeitgeist documentaries, please check out Zeitgeist. And they may have made more. I think they may have had a part 5. But the Zeitgeist were very powerful eye-opener. Some of you all who have questions about religion, yes, they did the same thing. Even though I have a spiritual discipline that I practice, I am awake to the truth behind history, behind religion. I won't go into that. That's for a whole separate video. But Zeitgeist gets into a lot of different things and breaks things down for those of you all who have questions out there. It helps provide very excellent detail. Also, there's another separate documentary called Esoteric Agenda. Please check out Esoteric Agenda. Will provide great information as well. So before I wrap it up, there's another documentary produced by an investigative journalist, a filmmaker. His name is Joel Gilbert. This documentary is called Dreams from My Real Father. Please check out Dreams from My Real Father. I think I actually have this in my possession, and you know, I showed it to some people before. Very excellent documentary. I won't spoil it for you guys, but please look it up, called Dreams from My Real Father by Joel Gilbert. He's an investigative journalist, filmmaker, does very good, excellent research as well. There's another documentary for those out there who are African American, other than just Hidden Colors. Thank you. I just saw someone in the chat flash real quick. I didn't get to see your screen name as I'm shooting the video, but thank you for the shout out. I did see that part. Hidden Colors, other than Hidden Colors by Tariq Nasheed, there's another version that I feel a lot of African Americans should check out. And Alex Jones used to sell this documentary on his website. I don't know if he still has it. It's called Ma'afa 21. It's spelled M as in Matthew, A as in Allen, A as in Allen, F as in Frank, A as in Allen. Maafa 21 and the number 21. I believe that's still on YouTube. There was a pastor named Pastor Cleonard Childress, and he had been a guest in years past on Alex Jones's program. He was like an activist too. He's listed in the documentary. This will help provide the control mechanism. There's people out there that have questions about some things dealing with the African American community. It will go into the history behind some of the brainwashing, and when you watch these other documentaries, you will really start to get it. And I recommend for those out there who are African American, check out this documentary called Maafa 21. I see Money Boy Daniel Mendoza, that's the name. God bless you, brother Dorsey, and Money Boy in the building. Yep, thank you. Big shout out to you, Daniel, and Money Boy. Big shout out, Money Boy in the building, folks. Had to give Money Boy a big shout out. He's done a great work. I met him in the movement last year, dealing with the secret so-called TDA accounts that I did a previous video on, that I believe, in my opinion, the Federal Reserve, which I pretty much know for sure, is behind blocking access. Those transactions used to go through years ago with no reversals. That was confirmed. I attended the Pastor Tony King seminar. I just can't remember if he said that on the audio or if I heard him mention it when I was at the seminar or whatever. Evelyn Alvarez, Alex Jones is Bill Hicks, Jerome Corsi, and AJ Mossad. I disagree with that. You know, Evelyn, that is inaccurate, highly inaccurate. I checked into who Bill Hicks was. He died many years ago. He was another, like, a comedian personality based in Austin, Texas, like Alex Jones. People are trying to say there's this conspiracy going around that Alex Jones is a reincarnated version of Bill Hicks, and that's old too. That's real old. That's corny, very corny, inaccurate. There's two different people. You have people they call doppelgangers that look alike, and there's still distinct, strong differences between the two. But you get these trolls that come in here to show you the hatred is real. There's people out here that may be paid shills, paid agents, but overall Alex Jones has been highly accurate despite his flaws, like many people have. He's not perfect, but he's done very excellent work at exposing the ruling class and many other areas, and helping educate people. So please, you're not welcome here, Evelyn. Get out the chat. If you're going to get here and troll, I'm going to block you out. And this is a message: trolls, do not come here. This is not for you. You know, and please, people out there, if you do like this video or whatnot, give it a thumbs up, because it lets the trolls know you basically, you know, it shows that this is accurate, because you do have deep state operatives. They're paying people to be shills. I already went over. I might do another video down the line, because some people tried to accuse me of being an agent, but there's you know, this is why I say I encourage everyone. I do give a disclaimer: do your own research and homework, because I'm not trying to I'm not trying to force you to take my word for what I'm saying. This is why I do encourage. But when somebody's like in the chat, like this person is continuously, this shows that they're a troll and they're not stopping. Especially when you click on their channel, they're not showing a face. As well, that shows you're not accurate. If you're not willing to challenge me face to face, and if that's not your real name, then you don't need to be here. You're just a distraction, and it doesn't show credibility. At least I'm showing my real face. I'm showing credibility, but I'm not going to get off track. Have you heard of the monetized code program? Yes, I have heard of that. Believe just someone said Janae King. Think so. I'm not sure. If you can maybe expound on it a little bit more. Miss Janae King in the chat, thank you for joining. I heard about something that deals with monetization. I don't know if that's with the Native American guy who had a program to monetize birth certificates. Unfortunately, with a lot of these programs, he needed a certain amount of people, because I found out that those platform traders are exclusive, very exclusive as far as who they allow in to be platform traders or trade on their platforms. I was listening to a dinar call with TNT, but I noticed from speaking to some other people, they make those platform trading things exclusive. So the guy who was doing the birth certificate thing, where he was trying to gather a certain amount of people, where they were trying to like maybe create a bond, says peace, yes, the judge. Okay. I didn't know he was is he a common law judge or whatnot. I wasn't sure exactly, but that's the issue that I heard. He was trying to gain a certain amount of people to sign up, and I think a lot of people have issues because people are struggling already where they, you know, it's got so bad where they can't even put in $50 or $200 in, because people that are waiting on this so-called Iraqi dinar, this global currency reset, I, in my opinion, believe if, and this is why I went over these documentaries, if you study the banking system and the look into the Federal Reserve Bank, which I think is more has more of a control mechanism than the Treasury, but it's still heavily controlled and by a particular ethnic group too. I won't go into the details. There may be some more information, powerful information I will be releasing down the line, some books that I recommend checking out too, even though the focus of this video was dealing with documentaries. Please check out, well, I'll go over some books too, is Judaism Discovered. Please check out Judaism Discovered. A friend of mine actually gave me the book. It scared me. This is actually their belief system, and it was written by a Jewish person too. I think the last name Hoffman. I can't remember their first name was the author, but you can look it up, called Judaism Discovered. And you know, please check that out. There's another book. The reason some people were bringing up why Minister Louis Farrakhan was not allowed to speak at Aretha Franklin's funeral, and I heard some years ago, a friend of mine told me that Farrakhan wrote a book some years ago called The Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Jews. Please check that out. Some white people, Caucasian people ask the question, why a lot of black people vote Democrat? I think, and they'll talk about the how Jews, I guess some years ago, David Duke also brought this up, that they had played a role during slavery times, or whatnot, that they owned a lot of the slave ports. And I don't find it a coincidence that they're heavily involved with the banking system. To this day, they control Hollywood and many different industries. They control definitely the music industry, entertainment, and then acting. I don't think, in my opinion, that that's a coincidence. And like when Jada Pinkett boycotted the Oscars, I asked a friend of mine, because you have different ethnic groups of white people, Caucasian people, they don't get along with. Like you have white people, European people that are Irish, Welsh, Scottish or German or Germanic, and you know, Jewish people or whatever, that some of them that are Caucasian don't get along, and they're using black people as their pawns to push some of these agendas. And there was Malcolm X even went as far as to say, I found this out not too long ago, years ago, rest in peace to him. He said that the Democratic Party, he felt during that time period, and I'm not trying to play the race card, I'm just bringing this up historically to provide validity, but he stated that he felt they were more racist than the Democratic Party. I guess back in the 60s, he made a statement. This was before he died. And some people asked the question, why do most black people vote Democrat? And I was told this book by Minister Louis Farrakhan, there was several that were produced by the Nation of Islam. They used their research and development faction, did a lot of research, and they said these were writings written by Jewish people by their own admission. And I looked at it, and it's called The Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Jews. And a friend of mine who knows a Freemason, and I met him too, I know him as well, but my friend was closer to him. He was a black Freemason. He was a member of Prince Hall Freemasonry, and he told my friend to check that book out by Minister Farrakhan called The Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Jews. And he said it'll answer a lot of questions. So I think the Jewish people, they're using black people just like on a chessboard as their pawns to do their bidding with groups they don't get along with. So that's why they continue to label Trump a racist, a white supremacist, when they can be more racist and discriminatory themselves, because many of them are in control of these big tech companies. When you look up the bloodlines and the names of these people and how they run and control the banking system and why they haven't released these funds or this money yet, this is a form of financial terrorism. This is economic terrorism. This is very mean. This is malicious, because these people, they're not tolerant. Like I noticed people on the right, I think, from my opinion, I'm not a registered voter, so I'm coming from a nonpartisan, bipartisan approach, that these people, I didn't really mean to get into all of this, but these people who, that really, to be more specific, I mean no disrespect, but the lower level Jews, the higher level ones are called the Zionists, which many people don't know are upper echelon. Like George Soros would be considered a Zionist. He's in the upper echelon category. And I would say check out for evidence the 60 Minutes interview they did with George Soros. You can still watch it on YouTube. Please, excuse me, check out that documentary by George Soros on YouTube. Download that before I heard that Soros tried to have it removed, but he was unable to. It's an interview, and Soros is a Hungarian Jew, I found out, by the way. And Mark Zuckerberg, the owner of Facebook, too, tried to kick, I heard, indigenous Hawaiians off their island. He was buying up, he already bought up land in this area, but I heard he kind of backed up a little bit. So it's not a coincidence that some of these people are in positions of power where they control tech giants, and they're censoring a lot of conservatives. And journalism, for what I understand, is supposed to be balanced. Even for lawyers, they're not supposed to take the majority of one side, where the mainstream media is favoring one particular side over another. There's supposed to be a balanced approach. They teach this in communication school. There's even, I found out, amongst lawyers, I don't know what the bylaws or some of their rules, they're supposed to be unbiased and fair. And this mechanism that I've gone over with the control that this particular ethnic group of people have, but it's mainly coming from the upper echelon people at the top. The Zionists can call everyone else, or consider everyone else on the planet, to be Goyim. And I was told in German that the word Schwarz, they call certain black people or minorities Schwarz Goyim, which Schwarz is a German name that means black. So I hear it's worse than calling somebody the N-word, actually, but they refer to a lot of African Americans or certain people, they call them Schwarz Goyim, and it's supposed to be like a major disrespect. But many African Americans won't know this if you never studied language or linguistics. But a friend of mine was sharing this information with me, because by no means am I expert. I seek out help from people that are more proficient in areas that I'm not. Janae King said, it's scary to know that we live in two different worlds. Yeah, you're right on point, Janae, definitely. And I feel, you know, these people, they're definitely using black people, minorities as a pawn. That's why I say to all those out there, keep an open mind. And this is why I did give a disclaimer. Do your research. Don't take my word for what I'm saying. I'm so confident in what I'm saying and going over with you that when you look up research information, it'll speak for itself. But please do your own research and homework. I'm just simply a messenger. I'm not trying to force my beliefs on anyone, but I'm just sharing the information. You guys have all the power. I'm just sharing it, relaying, because I think these are some detrimental times, and there's people manipulating us. There is an Illuminati. People want to shy away from, but are afraid, like, oh, I'm spooked out. They're afraid of the term. But please look into it, because our survival in this world as a country, a nation, depends on people waking up, thinking outside of the box, out of sight, out of mind. And I think I've said a mouthful. I went over a lot of documentaries, excellent information. I want to thank you guys for joining me. I appreciate you very much. And don't forget to, if you haven't subscribed to Dorsey's Resource, please subscribe. You can follow me on Facebook at Dorsey's Resource. I'm on YouTube at Dorsey's Resource, of course, and on Twitter at Dorsey's Resource. Down the line, I said it's going to take me some time, but I'm looking to getting onto other platforms because of all of the censorship that is happening, where they're breaking the laws, the Sherman Act, antitrust laws, where they're mainly censoring a lot of conservatives or people on the right. But like I said, I'm not a registered voter, but I have an open mind. I've well studied. I've researched, from looking from the outside looking in. I just want to share with you guys. So I'm coming from a fair, balanced perspective, but this is why I went over these documentaries, to help wake you up, to unlock your mind from the brainwashing that the mainstream media is not going in depth, or as in depth as the independent media may do. So with that said, thank you for taking the time to join me. Janae King says, peace, brother. Amar Zul says, true, amen. Thank you, Amar. I want to thank you all out there who did take the time to join me in this session. Once again, don't forget to thumbs up, because it lets the trolls know that, you know, what I'm saying overall is accurate. If you like what I do, let me know. Please comment as well. And until next time, thank you very much, you all out there, for joining me. Have a great night.